Hello everyone, my name is Yunhao. Today I want to talk about something that sounds very scientific, but actually it affects all of us in a very direct way. How bacteria evolve and why antibiotics are becoming less effective. Most of us have taken antibiotics at some point in our life. We trust it. We think that it will always work. But the reality is a little bit worrying. They're slowly losing their power. So today I'm going to explain what is happening, why it is happening, and why it matters to you. Let me start with one simple question. Can a small cut on your hand kill you? They will probably laugh and say no. But about 100 years ago, the answer was yes. Even a small infection could spread through the body, leading to sepsis and death. People didn't have effective treatments. Doctors could go do very little. So what changed? Why are we so much safer today? The turning point came in 1928 when Alexander Fleming discovered penicillin. And it was actually an accident. He noticed that a mold killed bacteria in the petri dish. That mold produced penicillin, the first antibiotic in human history. This discovery completely revolutionized medicine. Diseases like pneumonia, tuberculosis, and one infections become treatable. Millions of lives were saved, and at the time, people were extremely optimistic. Some even believed we have finally defeated bacteria, but bacteria had other plans. As for today, we are facing a new and serious problem. Some bacteria are no longer killed by antibiotics. These are called drug-resistant bacteria, or sometimes superbugs. This is not rare. It is happening in hospitals, communities, and even farms. And the scary part is, we are running out of effective drugs. Naturally, we'll ask, what happened? Why did bacteria become resistant, and why did it happen so quickly? To answer these questions, we need to understand one key concept in biology: natural selection. First, we need to understand variation. In any population of living organisms, individuals are not identical. Even bacteria, which look very simple, have genetic differences. These differences come from DNA, and some bacteria might grow slightly faster, some might tolerate stress better, and some very rarely might already have the ability to survive antibiotics. These differences were crucial. Without variation, evolution cannot happen. So, where do these differences come from? They come from mutations, random changes in DNA. Most mutations do nothing and somehow harmful, but occasionally a mutation is beneficial. For example, a mutation might change the structure of a protein so that an antibiotic can no longer bind to it. That bacterium now has a huge advantage. And here is the key idea: resistance already exists before antibiotics are used. This is very important. Antibiotics do not create resistance, they simply select bacteria that already have it. Now, let's look at reproduction. Bacteria reproduce extremely fast. Under ideal conditions, they can divide every 20 minutes. That means one bacterium will go to millions in just a few hours. But not all of them survive. They compete for nutrients, space, resources. But even in a bacterial population, there is intense competition. And this competition is what allows natural selection to act. Now, we can combine everything. When antibiotics are introduced, they create selection pressure. Most bacteria are killed, but resistant ones survive. And because they survive, they reproduce and pass on their genes. After many generations, the population changes. Resistant bacteria become dominant. And this is natural selection in action, and it can happen very fast in bacteria. And let me emphasize one key idea again. Natural selection does not create new traits. Bacteria do not decide to become resistant. Instead, variation already exists. Selection simply favors certain traits. The antibiotics are not the cause of resistance. They are the filter that selects it. Now let's focus on a real example. MRSA. MRSA is a type of bacteria resistant to multiple antibiotics. It is commonly found in hospitals. It can cause serious infections, especially in patients with weak immune systems. The most shocking is how fast it evolved. In some cases, resistance developed within just a few years after new antibiotics were introduced. This shows that evolution is happening right now. So, why is this process so fast? There are three main reasons. The first one is faster production. Bacteria reproduce incredibly quickly, just as like I mentioned before, and more reproduction will equals to more opportunities for evolution. Second, frequent mutations. Every division can introduce DNA errors. More mutations will cause more variation. Third, strong selection pressure. Antibiotics can create intense selection pressure. Kill almost everything, and only the strongest survive together. But together, these create a perfect environment for rapid evolution. That's why resistance can appear in just a few years. Now here's something important. Humans are accelerating this problem. We often misuse antibiotics, taking them when not needed, not finishing the full course, using them for viral infections. And in addition, a large amount of antibiotics is used in agriculture, about 70% globally. This increases selection pressure everywhere. We are unintentionally helping bacteria evolve faster. What is my big idea? Evolution is not just a theory about past. It is happening right now. It is happening in hospitals, in farms, and even inside your body. The key idea is evolution is an ongoing process. However, we still have good news. The good news is we understand how this process works, and that means we can take action. We can use antibiotics responsibly, only take them when necessary, always complete the full treatment. These actions may seem small, but they have a huge impact because they reduce selection pressure. So, I want to leave you with one final question. If we are all part of this evolutionary process, what will you do? Thank you.